AC brake over. Now we've got to figure out how to get this on here. Now you may notice when we put this on here and this nipple thing here goes inside the hook like that, right? It needs to hold it, but of course the bar's too long, and if I cut this, the cutting is also going to be too long. So I need to cut this bar the right length. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to put this in here first. Alright, take the nipple thing off. Alright, I'm going to take this bolt off. Now, I've got some decisions to make in that if I put it in and this needs a bit more tension and I need to move this up, then I've got to make sure I've got enough screw space here to move it. Now if it's too tight and I need to loosen it, I've got to go the other way. So don't put it at the top or the bottom, stick it in the middle, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to put that in the middle.
Oh, the tolerance.
Yeah, give it the tolerances so you can move it, right? And then I'll put this in it, because once we cut it, there's no going back, right? So I'm going to put that screw on. Okay, and then this. Now, where's the right place? I'll tell you exactly. When you press it, you feel that's the end. So because that's the end, are you sure that's the end? Well, here's how I test it. I use my tool, my calipers, these guys, and then I'll just move it to here, and just like I'm pressing the clutch, I should be able to, I can press the clutch like that. You can spring it so you know it's there, right? So that's definitely clutch on, clutch off, wax on, wax off. Okay, so that's where it needs to be. So just with the finger up to that point, and that's the length. So if that's the length, then we need to cut it basically around about the same point here. So one thing that I'm missing is a marker. So what will I do? I've got some cutters here.
Well, the powers of editing to be, we can.
Yeah. So I'll mark it here. But just for the sake of a little bit of tolerance, I'll bring it down a little bit. So I've got a little bit of extra. Okay, it's about there. All right. So that's where I'm going to cut it. But I've got to make sure I cut it so I can put the screw on, because what will happen is I'll cut it and the thread won't go on and I can't get it on. So I have to Dremel it off at the end. All right.
Or you could put the screw on first.
Yeah.
And then cut.
Then I can put the screw on first and then cut, which is also a very good idea. Luckily I brought the cameraman, so I didn't fuck it up.
So you need to put the screw to the other side, yeah?
Yeah.
I knew I'd come in handy.
Well, he's the handyman. He lives just around the corner.
I have my moments.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to take...
Well, perhaps we can fast forward this one.
Yeah, we can fast forward that part. Alright, so what I've done is I've put this in here, measured the end, so I've got this little grommet thing that goes into the pulley. So I just put it in the right position. So that's my marker. I don't have a pen. So I'll put it there, put it in the right position. And what I need to do is cut this bar here because it's too long. So famous Dremel. So here it is. And I'm going to do this without eye protection, like an idiot. Maybe I should get eye protection. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll cut this.
Maybe I should get eye protection.
Maybe you should get eye protection. No, we'll cut this bar. I probably need to take it out actually and do it, to be honest. Okay, so now that we've cut it short, cut it the right length, not too short, not too long, just right. I'll put it in here and get it into position. So now I've got a lock nut and a nipple, and no pun intended. The lock nut should go, I think the way it came was the lock nuts on the inside. Alright, so we've got our nipple in and I've got my lock bolt on here, and so we want to get rid of any of this play here like this, right? So one way is you can turn the bar and screw it into the nipple a little bit, and then there's the lock bolt here. So we'll just tighten the lock bolt first because it's in as far as I like, and just tighten that lock bolt. I don't have a spanner that small, but we'll use the screwdriver. Right now the bar's turning, so I'm going to have to, it's as tight as I'll make it for the moment, and I'll tighten those things up later when we get a bit of pressure on it. And now I need to bring that up to there. Whoops, got a mystery hand is back. Tighten that in. Got a spanner big enough. Where's my big? For the sake of this, I'll just cheat. I'll use this. All right. Well, just make sure we're not. All right. Just keep a little bit of slack here, so that you're sure you're not making it too tight. All right. Because you don't want your clutch permanently on. All right. Once you get this into the right position, okay. There's a little bit there, so I'll just pull it. So just gonna do the elbow. So there we go. So we've got a little bit of movement. So let's take out the slack. There's the slack. All right. Just do the slack with the hand. Don't use the screwdriver to do it. But this lock nut on this side, use the power for that one. Okay. Okay. So at the side, you want to check that your cable is going to go on top or at the side. In my case, it's going at the side because of the mounting and the fitting is the right position for it. So I'll put it sideways, and that's where I'm going to lock it. So I'll lock it into that position. So got it locked. I'll tighten these up later because when we're doing the bleeding, we need to care about how we're going to get the air out of this system, and I'll have to show you how to do that, which means we're going to leak clutch fluid all over the engine when we do this. And also flaking a lot. Look at that. Anyway,